Hey everyone, it's Dr. Ahmad Al-Hassiny here from the Institute of Digital Dentistry, and we have another exciting podcast here on the Digital Dentistry Decoded podcast. We are joined by some of the team from Shining 3D. We have Jorge and Jerico. Welcome, guys. Thank you so much for your time.
Of course. Glad to be here again.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, Jericho, it was nice to speak to you. I think it was about a year ago now that we spoke, maybe a bit under. And so much has happened. I mean, if you guys wouldn't mind just introducing yourself. Jorge, you're new to the show, so a big welcome. Just about what you guys do at Shining, and then we'll get into it.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Jorge Hernandez. I'm the National Sales Manager here for Shining 3D. I've been with the company for over 6 years now. So I'm working with the regional sales team here in the U.S., expanding and supporting our distribution network in the country.
Awesome. And of course, Jericho, I mean, most of us who listen to this podcast know you, but please go ahead about your experiences Shining.
Yep. So I'm a senior application engineer here at Shining 3D, and I'm also the lead clinical trainer. And I've been with Shining. This is my third year. I'm super excited. I'm also part of the technical and support team as well, but mainly just heading the training team here for Shining.
Awesome. Well, look, guys, I really appreciate your time. I know it's the end of your day for both of you, so thank you for joining me. I guess we just jump right in. Shining 3D has been on a freaking warpath, so you guys have been doing a bit of everything. IDS 3-4 months ago was big. You guys had a lot of new releases. Please tell me about them and how it's all been going.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, IDS for us was a very successful event. And since last year that we released our Aoralscan Elite, which has been, of course, our most, we call it our golden toy, but a very disruptive solution. And of course, just getting this product onto the market and being able to provide this solution has been a great success for our company. Like you said, in IDS, we released some really cool features and products as well, like the Elite Aoralscan Elite Wireless, the MetiSmile MR, the eMotion, and a really fast and accurate printer, the AccuFab F1. It was a great event for us. We had a lot of people obviously wanting to get more information about the products. Our whole team was busy the whole show, from the first day to the last. Remember, we finished at 6 p.m., but people kept, stopping by our booth 7, 8 p.m. And it was great. That's what we wanted. We wanted this, to get this engagement with potential customers, to doctors, and just let them know what we have, nowadays. So it was a really great show overall.
I'm glad to hear that, man. Yeah, certainly. I remember your booth seemed to always be busy. And I want to really dive into each one of these releases, and let's just jump into the Elite. I think it's a total game changer. I've loved using it in my practice for since the start of the year, I think, good 6 months. But how have you guys been finding it? What are clinicians' responses to this? Because I personally think you totally changed the industry, because now everyone is trying to do a similar sort of thing and bake on some horizontal scan bodies with their scanner. But how you guys been finding it on the ground, and what are you hearing from clinicians?
Yeah, I guess, from my sales standpoint and from the team that we're working on in the field on a daily basis, the response has been really positive. Like you said, traditionally to be able to have this workflow for photogrammetry, we needed multiple devices. So we needed the extraoral camera, we needed an intraoral scanner, and then, of course, doing a merge in the software and just bringing a lot of these files together made it a lot more, I guess, complex to, from a chairside standpoint, from a design standpoint, remakes, etc. But like you said, clinicians, they loved how we can just do everything with our intraoral scanner. Having that intraoral photogrammetry, being able to capture that exact position of the implants, merge it with the soft tissue, do that alignment within the software, and then, of course, having that open libraries of the implant systems that we're working with so that the laboratory gets them, the complete package for fabrication. It's a game changer. So very disruptive, fun times for the company, and of course, very innovative innovative, like you said. So with the Aoralscan Elite, again, it's been a huge success. And the cool thing about this, and Jericho will speak more on this because she leads the training part, is we focus a lot on the education, on the training, making sure that everyone feels comfortable with our solution. One of the things that we do is we just don't want to sell a product that we say it's fast, we have these features X or Y. We want to solve a problem. And what do we want to do here is, less chairside time, bigger ROIs, more comfort for the patient, for the clinicians, less remakes. And these are all the things that, the responses or the feedback that we get from the market, having all this just packed into one system, it's been a game changer.
Yeah, it's interesting to me because I talk to a lot of the industry, basically every digital dentistry company, and they all seem to agree that the photogrammetry and full arch solution for scanning is kind of done now. I think the whole industry seems to think that we solved that challenge of scanners not being able to do this. But I still feel there's a lot of pushback by the traditional photogrammetry companies that still say we are the gold standard. And also, I think a healthy bit of skepticism from clinicians that still don't quite believe this works and can give passive fits. I guess the question is that because we talked about this last year, and so a year is a long time, has there been any notable clinical studies or case trials or anything like that that is really proving this works?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. And yeah, actually we have. So we've released multiple case studies. We also work with a lot of, education institutions here in the US and globally. So for example, we work with the Coy Center very closely. They released a study where they were comparing both extraoral photogrammetry compared to ours. And the difference is if when we're talking about these, I guess, two solutions, traditional method to our intraoral scanner, it was very comparable. Again, I guess it comes down to the accuracy, to the workflow, but when it came to both solutions, we're pretty much on par. So I understand, and like you said, it's a lot of skepticism. It's a lot of it's a new workflow, and that's why we want to we have a strong KOL network. We have our clinical director, we have our training team that Jericho leads, and this is our strength. Being able to just walk everyone through the workflow, educating them on the solution, and having that clinical research is a huge benefit for us, and what we try to emphasize on.
Yeah, I think it's fascinating what Shining has done, frankly, because I personally have a photogrammetry unit, a traditional one, and since getting the Elite in my practice, I've basically stopped using it, and it's been just a total game changer. It just makes life so much easier. I guess this one's for Jericho. We can't have her sitting there in the corner anymore. So, Jericho, in terms of intraoral photogrammetry, how is it evolving? I know you guys added a few interesting workflow changes on the software.
Yeah.
A couple of hardware things with the little, I don't even know what they're called, the little knobs that you put on. And
Yeah.
what else is down the horizon? If you can share that, is this something that's going to continue to be refined, or are we pretty much where we want to be with intraoral photogrammetry?
Well, I think when we added the scan caps, that was like huge. When we were having a little bit of an issue doing the tissue matching scan because we've got movement and blood and sutures and everything's going on. So having this cap scan workflow has helped get the alignment a little bit quicker because now we're aligning the scan caps to the coded scan bodies. So that's been one of the biggest changes, and is everybody that has gotten the scan cap so far, I hope, are using them for every scan that they're doing now instead of doing the tissue alignment. We've made a few changes to the software as far as just like bugs and, the normal things, just working out the kinks and taking everyone's advice on things that they want to see changed in the software. And again, that's why I think it's so awesome that we have that control. So we create our own software so we can take the feedback, go back and make those changes that people are asking for or, wanting, to change in the software. So I just think, we keep making the software better. But adding the scan cap workflow now has also helped the doctors just get the scans a little bit easier now.
Yeah, I think the scan cap was genius, to be honest, because I think
Yes.
especially for immediate loading, It's totally the right way to do things. I have a
Yeah.
bit of a curveball for you guys. I mean, you guys sell the Shining 3D Elite, but is there ever a scenario where if a customer says, I want to buy the Elite or traditional photogrammetry, is there ever a scenario where traditional photogrammetry is better?
From our that's a really good question,
Yeah.
but from our standpoint, what we can say is again, there's a lot of factors that come into play when we're getting into photogrammetry, or the doctor's getting into photogrammetry. Is one, how easy it is to use. Two, of course, the cost of the full solution. And three, I think the support and just having different, I guess, going to different companies, going to different brands can make the workflow a lot more complicated if something is to happen. But again, just being able to compact or pack everything into one intraoral scanner that has the intraoral photogrammetry, it's a game changer. So it comes down to when they get their hands on the product, they do a live surgery, and they see our workflow, they get to understand the benefit and of course the added value that it comes to just having a two-in-one solution. So fortunately, we've been very lucky because every time we go against this battle or question, we come on the good side. So in general, again, people do prefer our intraoral scanner with the intraoral photogrammetry.
Have you heard of any clinical scenarios? Because I have a few that I can share in my own personal experience where someone couldn't use the scan bodies for any reason. Have you heard of anything like that? Because I'm happy to share my examples, not to put you guys on the spot, but I would say some clinical challenges I'm having with the system, even though I love the system, by the way. But I am finding some things where I'm like, that's interesting. It's a bit harder to do.
I can say, because I sit in on a lot of surgeries on TeamViewer, a lot of times they have a hard time capturing the dots or the photogrammetry because there's blood or there's a lot of saliva, tissues moving. We know that in an immediate load situation, that's going to happen. But mainly, I find in a super bloody environment, they will wipe the coated scan bodies, but there's still like blood residue. And they're like, oh, it's dry. But blood leaves like a little smear and it makes the photogrammetry dots dull. So the camera cannot pick it up. And when we're doing that particular scan, it's in black and white. So it's kind of hard to even see. And I'm trying to figure out why it's not capturing or it's capturing slow. Another thing that we're seeing maybe a little bit more now lately is the way that the clinicians or the assistants are cleaning the coated scan bodies. So they're damaging them. They're not using the recommended enzymatic solution that we're telling them to use. They can't go into ultrasonic. We're saying no cavi wipes, don't brush them. So that is another reason why they might be having a hard time capturing those coated scan bodies. I saw one yesterday, and the scan caps were scanning fine, but the coated scan bodies were not. And I asked them to compare the dots, like how bright are these dots on the coated scan bodies? And they're like, they're not as bright as the caps. So, I mean, that's just troubleshooting 101 for my team. But, those are the things that I'm seeing open, like not suturing before we do the scan. So that was one that we were sitting on for like an hour, and like the tissue is moving, like it's never going to match. So like those kind of scenarios, but again, it's new. Not everybody gets the training. They think they can just take it out of the box and they're just going to go to town. Like, let's pull some teeth, put some implants in, and we're going to use this brand new scanner. And I never even watched one video. Like, it's suicide. So, and I see it every day. But yeah, if they get the training, then, they get to know how to use the scanner properly.
I'm so glad you said that, Jericho. It just shows you're totally legit, because that's my issue. That was pretty much the only issue I'm having is the dots, and especially, like you said, you wipe them, but there's still a residue, and it just doesn't pick up. And it's extremely frustrating until you kind of figure out what the problem is.
It is very frustrating.
And like you say, it's a bit of troubleshooting. I guess my follow-up question would just be, what is the recommendation if there is that residual blood on it? I mean, I'm just asking for my sake now, and for anyone who else wants to learn with me.
Mm-hmm.
So you do a surgery, you put the implants in, you put the coated scan bodies in, you wipe them, and it's still not picking up.
Yeah. I'm telling the doctors or assistants, take them out. Take them out, put them on the counter. Let's wipe them with or wash them with water, wipe them with rubbing alcohol,
I think so.
and then rinse them and then put them back in the mouth and just get that extra layer of residue off. That's what I'm saying to do. And 99% of the time, if they haven't already damaged the dots, this method works.
For those people that do damage the dots, because I think that might be our problem as well, I guess the solution is just buy a new kit and don't damage them again.
You can buy individual replacements.
Oh, wow. Amazing. I didn't know.
You don't have to buy an entire kit, but, depending on how many are damaged would depend on if you're going to replace just a single one or get a whole new kit.
And I guess the other question is, the company is obviously aware of this, especially with you being out on the field and seeing all the troubles people have. Is it something that can be solved, or I don't know if solved is the right word. I mean, if blood covers something, but is it something the company's like, okay, we need to figure out how to get around this?
I don't know how we can. I mean, we need the dots. Yeah. We need the photogrammetry. They have to be a certain material to be able to be picked up by the camera. Besides just giving them that recommended cleaning protocol and including that in the software, in the scanner itself, but it's also in the user manual. It's on our website, how to take care of these coated scan bodies in scan caps. So it's like anything. If you don't take care of it, it's going to get wrecked or ruined.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Just follow the instructions then and make sure you take care of them.
Read the user manual.
That's something that I'm sure you're aware a lot of clinicians don't do. We're like handymen. I like to call ourselves tooth carpenters. We like to get our hands dirty, break it, and then figure out how to fix it. But maybe I'm just speaking for myself. Okay, so I guess apart from that, I think we can move along from the Elite. I'm sure you guys are maybe sick and tired of discussing it all the time. It is an incredible product. The only other thing would be to talk about the wireless Elite. Is there, apart from being wireless, anything noteworthy that you guys want to share? I think, personally, when I saw them both side by side, I really prefer the wired one personally. It's just way smaller. I like the metal construction. The wireless one is quite a lot bigger, longer. Is it just an option for those die-hard, I want a wireless scanner guys, or is there any other things that we need to know?
Yeah, it really comes down to preference at the end of the day. When it comes to features, modules, accuracy and scan speed, you're going to get the same results with both the wired version and the wireless version. As you mentioned, the wired is lighter. That one's 124 grams compared to the wired to the wireless one that it's 194 grams, if I'm not mistaken. So again, it comes down to preference. A lot of doctors tell us, oh, but we need the wireless solutions. Some other are like, no, we prefer the wired. So we have both options. We tailor to whatever is easy or more comfortable for the doctor.
All right, cool. I guess let's move on to the other cool releases. So one thing was the station, the all-in-one station. I'm not sure what the exact title of it is. And I think one massive innovation, again, is the MetiSmile doing jaw tracking. So I saw Jerico laugh, so I obviously butchered the name of the 3-in-1, but please go ahead.
It's called the Emotion. Emotion.
Emotion. Yeah. Sorry.
That's why I laughed, because the name is kind of funny, but yeah.
Emotion. That actually rings a bell. IDS was a rough week. It was so much going on. But anyway, Emotion. So essentially it's your CART MetiSmile Elite solution. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yeah. So basically, like you mentioned, it's the AO station, but now we have the MetiSmile holder, and of course the standard intraoral scanner holder as well. So we have that complete package now. That was the feedback that we were getting from a lot of clinicians, because of course they were getting the MetiSmile and they're saying, okay, but is there going to be an option for us to eventually have it in that all-in-one cart? So again, R&D, that's one of the cool things about our R&D, that we listen to the feedback from the market, from the doctors, from the clinicians, and we got the solution and they're loving it. The market is responding very well. They like how, of course, now with the new features that the MetiSmile has as well, we're able to do a lot more fun stuff, but we'll dive into that. But yes, it has all three in one, correct?
I think R&D is one thing, and I'm just going to say it because I can. I don't know if you guys can, but also just being a Chinese company is the other thing. They innovate and develop at such a rate. It's unbelievable how fast they make changes and how responsive. Like a lot of the Shining 3D guys, it's kind of like when you buy stuff from distributors in China for other things. You can message them any time of the day on WhatsApp or WeChat and they answer. It's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing how much support there is and how fast they're developing. So I guess the emotion cart is a release, but what's really the new release was the added modules on the MetiSmile. Is that correct?
Yeah, the MetiSmile MR is going to come with these 3 modules included in the software, and also the parts that you're going to need to use, to get the tracking. And then I do have like a little bit, I can talk a little bit about it. I mean, it's coming out, we just don't know when. So we're trying to make content for it, and also just trying to know like who's it for and how to like market it for the doctor to know when they need to use it. So we're working on that now.
So if we
But
take a
is it
step
okay?
back, yeah, please, it's okay if you show any videos or want to go into it. If we take a step back, for those who have no idea what you're talking about, what exactly does it do?
So we are using like photogrammetry again to do some jaw tracking. So for TMJ disorders, things like that. We do have a couple components in there that, if I'm not mistaken, we're going to be able to get a vertical dimension on a completely edentulous patient without having to use a bite rim.
That's pretty cool.
So that is part of it. I do have like this slide that I could read off. So we're going to have the dentulous motion scan, an optimal jaw relation, and a mandibular movement trajectory analysis. So what the dentulous motion scan is going to assist the doctor in capturing the patient's mandibular motion trajectories and exporting jaw motion files for design. So this module will help if we're doing digital smile design, if we are even making a crown, because it's going to send this jaw motion file with the case in alignment, so where we can import that into exocad. The designer will be able to use that jaw motion file to see clearance, whether it's a DSD or like a single crown.
And so basically we're going after the jaw motion tracking kind of space, like the Mojaws and all of that. So now you'll be potentially able to do this with your MetiSmile. In terms of the workflow, I mean, from what I was seeing at IDS, they're like little stickers and you stick them on the patient's teeth or something, or how does it actually work? Like what a patient comes in, I want to do this, what do? I get these stickers and where do I put them?
I think we're getting away from the stickers on each tooth and we're getting into these like bite forks that are going to have squares on them that we will place the stickers on the square.
Makes sense.
And then the camera is going to read like the top, upper and the lower jaw fork, and we'll be able to get the photogrammetry and the position and location from those bite forks.
Interesting. So that's not out yet. That's still kind of in development.
We're still working on it because, when we were doing the testing and we're putting the stickers on the teeth and then like they're moving and they have to be perfectly dry to stick. And then, the patients got the Optrogate and we're putting stickers on for like 20 minutes. And it wasn't like a very like easy workflow to use. Even to demo it was kind of torturous. for me. So I like the idea of using these biforks, and we can just take some composite material and cure that onto the tissue to be able to have the camera capture that relationship or the jaw motion. There's going to be 3 different modules, 3 different types of cases we can use this for.
Interesting. So we're going after, so doing a bit of jaw motion with the MetiSmile. I mean, I guess that speaks for itself. Jorge, do you have anything to add on that, what you've been seeing?
No. Yeah, no, I just think it's really, impressive and innovative how now, of course, being able to have that intraoral data, having a CBCT, a DICOM file, the 3D facial scan, and with the jaw motion and the dynamic movements, just having that complete diagnostic package, obviously, and sending that to a laboratory for design. It's just very impressive. And the fact that we're able to come up with this solution, I think it's something that speaks very loudly about Shining 3D. So overall, again, right now we're doing a lot of beta testing. We have a lot of our KOLs, a lot of, we're trying to get some clinical research and backup in order to be able to provide, the right solution. And then when we go to market with it, of course, everyone can understand what the benefit of it is, because it's such a new thing, right? And again, there's some companies that have been doing this, but to be able to come out and say, okay, these are the actual benefits. This is how it's going to improve your daily workflow. This is the problem that we're solving, is what we're trying to do at the moment. And that's our goal right now. So I think it's something that's just fascinating. The fact that we're able to have all these files into one system, and then just be able to, get that for the design of, or fabricate whatever we need to. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess that's the strength of doing everything in-house, because totally, I have a Mojo, I have a photogrammetry unit, I have pretty much everything in digital in my practice. And yeah, a major pain point is not only that some of these software completely suck, and I'm looking at you, traditional photogrammetry, but it's the fact that if I wanted to have a case and take all these things, I have to use like 3-4 different devices and 3-4 different softwares. And yeah, it's incredible that you guys are doing it all. I think you're the only scanner company or even digital dentistry company that does all these things, and it's like a one-stop shop.
Yeah, no, I agree. And then, a lot of the questions that we get nowadays is like, where have you guys been before? Are you guys a new company? And of course, our answer is no. We've been around since 2004, and the company before we're working with other industries, automotive, aerospace. So scanning a lot of, I guess, industrial and big parts with very high, accurate, and precise products. And then we brought this into the dental industry. And then from there, we're just like, okay, we understand that these scanning principles and technology can be incorporated into the dental industry. And, since 2013, it's been an amazing ride. And if anything, the fact that, again, the market is responding so positively to our products, not just the intraoral scanner, but our complete workflow, the one-stop shop, like you said. It's really, it's just fascinating, and it motivates us to be a part of a company that's constantly innovating.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's. I'm so glad that you mentioned that, because I have to laugh and think back, because maybe Jericho, you've been at Shining since 2016, maybe earlier, later.
Okay,
yeah. So why I laugh is that I've been doing digital dentistry for like a decade now. And I remember seeing the first Shining 3D scanner. And this was in like 2017 or 19, I guess. I can't remember. Anyway, and that was bad. It was so freaking bad. And I actually have my review on it. And I pretty much gave it all 1 or 2 star reviews. And I was like, this is just bad.
We remember.
Look, it was bad. I mean, I'm glad we're friends now. I mean, I just call it as it is. And I am in awe, to be honest, because this has to be like case studied. How a company can go from that to market leader in a certain niche, let's say this intraoral photogrammetry, and I guess in scanning in general, because the Elite actually is just a great scanner, in such a short time, and also redefine themselves. I guess because many people knew about Shining before, that worked in its favor a bit, because they didn't see the rough years, let's call them. And now they're just seeing the super innovating, super incredible company. And the other thing I find interesting, I'm just going to say that maybe not politically correct, but I was surprised, I guess, with the China-US thing dying down a bit. Obviously, the world is on fire with other issues. I was always under the impression that for a Chinese company, they may have more resistance because, we had that wave of we don't want to buy Chinese products. But I guess the products are too good. that's it. When you have the best workflow, people want to buy it.
Yeah, that's true. And like you said, it really came down to the product itself and some other factors. I think the product, the team, the infrastructure, the innovation, and just having those, disruptive workflows. It's something that it's very unique, and to have that all in one company, it's really fascinating. That's what I always say. And I might be biased because I've worked for the company, but when you look at it from an outskirt perspective, having all these components come into one and just, being able to go to market like that and feel confident about the product, knowing that what you're actually providing clients, again, and what I like to say, it's a solution. It's a problem that we want to solve. It's not just, hey, we're fast, we're accurate, and we have these cool things or features or design modules. No, it's how are we going to improve, your daily workflow? And it's really, it's nice to be a part of a team like this.
Yeah, I totally agree. And you're not biased, my friend. Sorry, Jericho. I
No,
interrupted
I was
you.
just gonna say, no, I've seen in 3 years, like it's insane. From like going to shows and like our booth, and we're just trying to get people to just do a demo, just like, just come over. And now they're looking for us. Like we could be in the very back corner by the loading docks, and they're looking and they're coming for us now. And it's so good. It's like such a good feeling.
This
It's
is
like,
disruption. This is when you
yeah,
disrupt the market. You release something so
yeah.
good.
It's been really, really great to see, and just it's a really good company to work for. Honestly, I'm very happy here. I'm not just saying that. It's like our entire team is like a family, and we all support each other, and it's really refreshing. I'll
All
just
right,
say
we have
that.
to give Jericho a raise after this one. That's it. She gets the raise. She gets a promotion. I'm gonna tell Kevin.
We're gonna send this to Kevin.
I'm gonna send it to HQ.
Talk to
Look
our
what she
bosses.
said.
Absolutely.
No, but
No.
honestly, yeah. Look, and I was just saying to Hoy that it's not a stretch to say it's incredible or amazing or fascinating. I don't know exactly the word you used, but it is. It is amazing to watch a company make such a good workflow, and also the disruption that was interesting to me. And I think I speak to everyone from Dentsply, 3Shape, Meta. You guys know that everyone was blindsided by this thing. I think that was the most amazing thing. No one saw it coming. And it was just
Yeah.
like, hey, we have this Elite, this is Intraoral Photogrammetry. And everyone was like, what the heck? And the best part is it works. I mean, digital dentistry is such a industry right now full of marketing and I have to call it out, just BS. There's so much just talk and shiny flyers. But the thing that was amazing about this is it actually worked. And I love what Jorge said about workflows, because I think as digital dentistry matures now, because it is maturing, you can see it's all about workflows now. It's not about shiny devices. We've moved away from the discussion about accuracy and fast scanners and another lightweight scanner. It's now all about what is this going to enable or unlock for me in my practice.
Yeah, no, we agree 100%. But, just I guess to just sum it up, it's, if anything, what I can tell you is, and the company has a lot of innovative things in the pipeline, just to leave it like that. Of course, we can't share more, but,
He's gonna try to get it out of you. He's going to
Yeah,
try to
yeah.
get it out of you, though.
You shouldn't have said
There's
that,
a-
man.
there's a-
You shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, constant innovation. That's what we can say. And there's our R&D department is always thinking ahead, not just what we have this product. Okay, it's always what's the next step? What are we going to fix? What's the feedback that we're getting? And how are we going to where the market, the trend. So that's what Shining 3D is about.
Yeah, and I've heard in the grapevine of what's coming, and it's curious. But anyway, we can move away from teasers. Okay, so the Shining, the Elite, we have the MetiSmile, the cart, and now the printer. I think that was the other last big release. Was there anything else I missed at IDS, or that was basically it?
It was
The
the printer.
nitrogen,
Yes.
the
Go ahead.
nitrogen cure unit.
Okay, let's jump into it. The new printer, I think it's called F1. I could be wrong. Did I make that up?
No.
Okay, good. I remembered
That is correct,
something
yeah.
from ideas. Cool name, F1, Formula One. What's special about it? So you guys went from the one with the ceramic build platform. I am so sorry, I'm butchering all these products, but this is how dentists
Cell.
think. The cell. And that was kind of the special thing with it. It's fast. The internal chamber was better. It's better heating, etc. But it led with the whole ceramic build platform thing, which I'll be honest is cool, but those really start to look manky after a while. But anyway, what's special about the F1 now?
Yeah, so it's our latest DLP printer. So again, before we had the AccuFab Cell, a great, reliable, fast printer, especially for these new workflows, all on X cases, being able to print out, arches within 14 minutes. And of course, trying to do everything chairside, because that's our goal, having a patient come in, we scan them, we do the design and be able to provide a temporary within the same appointment. That's our chairside time goal. But this printer, of course, it's, aimed more towards these high density or viscous resins for crowns, for all on X cases. So again, when it comes to accuracy, we're going all the way down to 25 microns. We're going to be able to print out crowns within 10, 11 minutes. And because of the dual heating system, these resins that are more dense or viscous, it's going to be a better, print result overall. So yeah, that's pretty much a little sneak peek of what the F1 does. Of course, open system, we're able to work with other brands out in the market. We don't want to lock anyone just with the Shining 3D resins, but we also have our resins that have been developed, all of course FDA approved. They've gone through all the certifications and product standard, clearance, whatever you want to call it.
So the F1 is targeted towards clinicians and chairside.
Yeah, correct. Clinicians chairside because of the accuracy, the speed. But again, if we're looking at mass production, it's still going to be a great solution. It comes with a standard build plate, and it also comes with a smaller build plate. So, tailored to either clinicians or if we're looking more for a bigger production type of situation.
That's kind of interesting to me that you guys went back to DLP. Because we're seeing the whole industry kind of shift to LCD. As you guys know, you had the cell and everything. And really the only, I don't want to say only because I haven't seen every single print on the market, but the main guy who still does DLP is a Sega, and they're steadfast in that DLP is better than LCD. Is there a reason why it wasn't another LCD printer? I assume it's like you mentioned, the accuracy thing. I mean, we might offend a lot of LCD printers that say we're accurate. So I guess from your company's perspective, why was it a DLP printer?
So the quick answer is accuracy. And that's what it came down to. With DLP, we can get finer results, specifically, again, for, projects where we need better resolution. We need, smoother surfaces. DLP, because of the light source, because of how it's curing, it will give us these results. So I understand, like you said, there's other brands that are, don't get me wrong, LCD printers, they're great. But when we're looking for better details, DLP is going to do a better job overall.
Because I find that, I love all the printers out there. All you companies are my friends. I personally find that with our lab, like if they're trying to print an all-on-X restoration, it's complex geometry, a lot of different screw channels and different orientations. They're not all flat against the build plate. They tend to try use DLP. That's just what they have found creates the best screw channel holes and everything. I don't know why. I haven't really dug into it. But yeah, that seems to be a thing in my lab. I'm happy to be wrong if a lot of the LCD companies tell me I'm just not using them right. But moving from the DLP LCD thing. So now in the portfolio, so someone can make sense of this. If I'm a clinician, I rock up to the Shining 3D booth. What is this F1 replacing? What are the main printers you guys are selling now? Because in quick succession, you sold a lot of newer models. So what are the options now for printers from Shining 3D?
Yeah, so basically we're going to have our two main models are going to be the AccuFab CEL, which is the LCD printer, and then the AccuFab F1, which is going to be the DLP printer. Both of these printers, again, you're going to be able to do any application, whether it's a crown, whether it's a breast surgical guide, you name it, but it comes down to the accuracy and the speed. So those are going to be the two main models that we're going to be working with in the market.
Okay, super easy. And
Mhm.
here's another grenade that you're going to have to jump on. Oh, hey, sorry, man. You're probably going to be like, I'm never coming to this podcast again. What do you guys think of capsules? Because that's the next big trend now in 3D printing. And as one of the most innovative companies, I would say, you guys have been up with all the trends. Is it something we can expect, or you guys? What do you think of it? Not just as a company. I'm not just trying to ask for teasers. Do you think that's the future
Yeah.
of restorative printing? Because we saw it from Midas, and I would say the Midas was kind of the equivalent of restorative 3D printing that the Elite was for Fallage. It was kind of a game changer, a lot of buzz, a lot of attention, and now we're kind of seeing other companies move in that direction. Asiga released their little pods and IDS. Do you personally think that's going to be a trend in chairside 3D printing?
Well, I think it's gonna come down to the preference of the clinician. For us, we see it more as where the consumables are going, and in this case, we're talking about resins, right? There needs to be approvals. There needs to be more clinical, I guess, research done behind them, making sure that we have the correct mechanical properties, that the resins actually do provide a good stability, strength, etc., whatever you want to call it. But it comes down to the consumable side. As time goes by, there's going to be resins that are going to provide such a great, I would say, results, for chair side, that in our pipeline, we do not have anything when it comes to the, the single pods, or like we were just mentioning. So for us, our target is we're going to continue working with the resins. And then again, as consumables and the resins, they keep evolving, there's going to be a lot more applications and things that we're going to be able to do with them.
What are you seeing as the biggest growth markets in 3D printing? Who are buying these from your guys' perspective? Is it mostly still labs, or are you seeing good uptake from clinicians? When you talk to these clinicians, I mean, Jerico, you're in there with the clinics. You probably have the best understanding of this. These clinicians, what are they actually printing with? Is it the same old story? Models, splints, surgical guides. Is that still dominating everything? Or I'm hearing a lot of dentures. What's your guys' perspective?
I think the clinicians are still printing like mainly models, splints, and surgical guides. But now if they have the Elite, now they're dabbling in printing those All-in-X provisionals. Some are still on the fence about printing crowns. Time is a factor there, because just because it prints in like 7 minutes, you still have to wash it. You still have to cure it. So doing like a temporary crown chair side, printing that is still not, I don't think they're into it as much as just doing like a composite temporary crown chair side.
Totally agree, by the way. Totally agree. I have to jump on that point before we go on, because I think printing them for temporaries is totally ridiculous, in my opinion. I mean, you get a good fit, but anyone who's done this, I mean, the doctor they're going to sit there on Exocad or your design software for a good 10, 15 minutes. And then, I for temps, I don't buy it. For permanence, I buy it.
For some of the resins like that are approved, I know it's a temporary resin, but some are approved now for long term. There's resins that in Europe they're using that are, not temporary. So if that's the solution they're looking for, and they want to take that time to design and print and wash and cure and call it a temp, but the patient never comes back because it ends up being a permanent, I don't know. I don't know how strong those resins are for crowns right now. So that's my take on it. But yes, I do see a lot more clinicians buying the 3D printer, and they want to print. Some it's a little difficult for than others, but if you have, I've been seeing, if they have a good assistant that's techie, and wants to learn and can work out like troubleshoot and things like that, they're having great success. So I like seeing that. I'm like, it's sad for the labs because I am a lab person in my background, but I'm happy for the ones that are getting digital now, even the older ones.
I love that you said that about the DAs, and this should be the biggest take-home message for anyone listening to this. If you're thinking about getting into any chairside CAD CAM, It is not, you are the hero, I'm the clinician, I'm going to do everything. It's the opposite. You need a whole team around you. You need to train your staff, your DAs, because it makes the entire process so much more enjoyable when you can delegate. Okay, so
Yeah.
F1, and it has the, just going back to the printer, it has the different kits, right? The normal, and then the crown kit, or what do you guys call it? Sorry, the smaller
Yeah,
kit.
that is correct. So we have the standard built platform, and then we also have a smaller one that's, again, more for crowns and chair side, same as, of course, the resin tank. So both options.
Is it a ceramic build platform?
Yes,
Oh,
correct.
cool.
Ceramic built
So you
platform.
guys are sticking with that. That's pretty cool. So you obviously found great success with it.
Yeah.
Any other thing about the printer before we move to the nitrogen curing unit and then talk about your guys' opinion about the market? Anything else about the printer that's noteworthy? DLP printer. How much does it cost?
So it depends on the region, but for us here in the U.S., it's $10,000 for the
Not bad.
printer.
Not bad. Not bad for a DLP. That's pretty
That's a
affordable.
deal.
That is a deal for a
Mm-hmm.
DLP. I mean, what comes close to that? A Midas is around 10,000. I think the
Mm-hmm.
LCD ones are cheaper. Obviously, what's your cell sell for in the US?
7,500, so 7,500.
Makes
Correct.
sense. So the cell's a bit more of an economic option. DLP is a bit better. No, super cool. And
Correct.
then you guys had the nitrogen curing unit.
I personally think we needed that, and a lot of customers were requesting it. But now that we have it, it's got a lot of benefits. I mean, the prints come out less sticky, if I can say that. They cure better. You can see a little bit of difference in the color. I mean, we did some testing here in the office and tested, the nitrogen versus our other FabCure, and the color is a little bit different. So it does cost a little bit to, get the nitrogen, but you don't use that much when you're curing. So I just think it's a great option now that we can offer that nitrogen curing unit.
I totally agree. I think anyone who, for some reason, wouldn't believe this just needs to go read up about oxygen inhibition layer and how much of an impact it makes, especially for these 3D printables. So, is it a new curing box or the same one, but now has a nitrogen input?
It's a completely new unit.
Nice new unit, but it doesn't have a nitrogen generator, so you still have to get the tanks, right?
You do have to
That is
get it.
correct.
I feel like that would be the next cool thing Shining should do, and I'll have to send this to Kevin. I feel like
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
the nitrogen tanks thing, guys. Just please let's stop with that. It's brutal for a
That's good
clinician.
feedback.
I know clinicians moan and cry about everything, but it looks like you have a missile in your practice. They're like this big, and
Yeah.
but anyway, okay. So we got the curing
But it
unit.
shouldn't be chairside. It should be in the lab. Like, the patient should not be seeing that.
Yeah. I mean, the patient doesn't see it, but even then, I see it, and I'm like, "What the hell is this? Like, why do I
Yeah.
have this in my practice?" But yeah, look, it works. Nitrogen, great. We've got a nitrogen curing unit. Anything else that you guys want to talk about before we just get into a bit about the market?
I think what I like to call this phase of our company and our organization in general is three words I can summarize it in. It's growth, disruption, and just the team in general. That's what I say. It's that whole package that we're bringing together, and I think that's, again, it's just really nice to feel comfortable or working for a product that it's going to work. A company that's actually doing good things out there, and not just to sell a product.
And I just have to say something about our support team and just the support that we offer. Like, I don't know any other company that offers the type of support that we do. As far as like anyone that gets the Elite and they don't take it out of the box and do surgery without getting training, if they get training, the cool thing is like we offer to be there at TeamViewer on their first surgery. So they're not alone. Like, you can do all the training you want, and then you're in the chair and you're removing teeth and you're placing implants, and then you forget the workflow or you forget a step. We offer to be there for, I mean, what company does that?
Is that globally?
Yeah.
At
Right
least,
now, I mean, just for my team in the US, like, we're doing it for the US for sure.
incredible.
I don't know what the other teams are doing, but they might be doing that as well. But I know our team does.
No, that's I genuinely think, and I totally agree that the support from Shining 3D is incredible. Even if it's not the being there, it's just the responsiveness. Like you guys have an email for all issues. I didn't even know this until I ran into an issue. I was bugging Kevin, and he was like, just write to this email. He's probably had enough of me.
Mm-hmm.
And then and then it's pretty sweet. I was like, this is really cool. You have this email, you just send them an email of what your issue is, and of course, because it's China and they work like crazy and they're super diligent, they don't sleep. Within a day, you get a tidy response. Like someone actually gives a damn and wants you to solve this issue. I've been loving it, and it's funny, Jorge, you mentioned about disruptions. I'm curious because you guys are at a peak right now with this disruption, and I'll be really curious if the company can maintain the momentum or even exceed it. Because when you do something like this, it's really hard to beat what you've just done. I think, like for scanning, this was amazing, and I'm really curious to see what happens next. For the company and what they're going to release.
No, I agree. And I think, again, we all have that, that question somehow, and we're trying to figure out what the next move is. But what I can tell you is that R&D and the company in general, again, we're thinking 2 years ahead, 3 years ahead. We know that we have a great product. We know that we've built a strong foundation. We know that we have, great response from the market, but we just don't want to stay stagnant. We want to think about what the next move is going to be, where the market is going to be going towards. And again, just tailor solutions so that we can keep that momentum and making sure, again, that we can just stay on top of the market and of the game.
For sure. And I guess, guys, for the last 5 minutes, on the market as a whole, or any interesting things, what's kind of exciting you guys at the moment in digital dentistry? If there's anything that you're like, this is really cool. Is it the AI play? Is it where 3D printing is going? What do you guys see? Because you guys have a pretty high level view of the market being in your positions. I guess even if it's a bit of advice for clinicians still on the fence, but more importantly, what's the next cool thing?
Yeah, I think a lot of AI-driven tools that are coming out. There's so much innovation when it comes to the software, and like we said, hardware. It's come to a point where it's fast. They're all accurate, but what's in the back end, right? The softwares, how AI is going to help us, with the workflows that we were talking about. So definitely AI. And I like to say this: AI is not going to solve the problem. It's a tool that we can, it's our friend. We can say, hey, can you help us with this? Guide us towards, a better result. So definitely a lot of AI-driven tools, and the consumable side. I mean, being able to, come into the point where permanent resins are being able to be printed out all on X cases. It's definitely very disruptive and cool to see where the industry has gotten within the, past 2, 3, 5 years. Before we had no clue that it was going to move or advance so fast, but we're at a point where things are just coming out on a daily basis. So even for us, it's hard to keep up with all the new technology that's being poured out into the market. But I think it's a fun time, not just, as a manufacturer, but as a space. The digital space it's getting to a place that, it's very exciting to see all the new technology that's being poured.
Yeah, I agree. And I think in 12 months, again, when we have another chat, if you guys want to jump on, maybe Jerico's had enough of me already. But I think, it just keeps evolving. Definitely that story keeps just changing year on year. Jerico, you're up. The question is to you. What do you think is exciting? Some advice?
I'm excited about the MR. First of all, the MetiSmile has always been my favorite device. I just think it is the coolest thing. And then when we brought in like the CBCT alignment with the intraoral scans and like everything it does, just having all the patient's face, like to do a design for the lab is just incredible. So they can see all the landmarks. They can make a much better design, saving time for redesigns and things like that. But I think the jaw tracking thing, like if we can pull it off to where we can use these forks in photogrammetry to eliminate that bite room appointment. Like, are you kidding me? That's everybody's dream right now, is like to just make everything, in the digital denture workflow, 100% digital.
Yeah.
We're not there yet. So, I hope we have that solution for that particular problem or issue. And then also, I think maybe making our design tools a little bit better, to where we could maybe like have the end user not have to use an extra or external design software like Exocad or 3Shape, and try to keep everything really in-house. Our Splint software is excellent. The last update they did was really great. We implemented a lot of tools and changes that people were asking for. Our model builder, I'm sorry, is like the best. I mean, literally, you bring it in, you press one button, and the software does everything, like to where you just press the button and then you go to print the model. Like, it has a base on it, it's trimmed, it's ready to go. One button. I mean, I'm sorry. I think
You're
that's
getting
great.
the best raise after this podcast. He's
I
gonna
just
get the promotion of the year.
like, how much easier can it be for someone to print a model? I'm just saying that. So,
3Shape does the one-click thing too, but yeah, I totally agree. That's the
but
right
ours
answer
is
to it.
better.
All right,
Ours is better. So
I won't fight you
click.
on this one.
It's a half a click. It's not even a full click. So yeah, I'm excited to see the changes we're going to make, in the software. The tools and features we're going to be adding, and just they don't stop. So you said that earlier. So it's never going to end. It's always going to be something else and something newer, or something they created or somebody asked for, and we just added to the software.
I totally agree. And look, after its meteoric rise, I think anyone who's in digital dentistry needs to keep an eye on Shining 3D. If you haven't already, you need to keep an eye on this company, and they are very quickly becoming one of the most innovative digital dentistry companies. And I love to see it. I mean, as a clinician, as an end user, just having better tools at my disposal makes me happy. But I think that wraps up this episode, guys. Thank you so much, Jorge, Jerico. I know it's the end of your days. You guys must be tired, long week. And I really appreciate you guys jumping onto the podcast. You guys are both really busy. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us. We look forward to coming back.
We'll be chatting again maybe next year, and then we'll have another good chat, see what's new, see if you guys can keep up this kind of momentum. But look, as always, everyone who's listening, thank you for listening and your support. This is the Digital Dentistry Decoded podcast. Please share, like, subscribe, share it with your friends, your colleagues, and I will see you in the next episode. Thanks for listening.